With the NSA.
We have identified some very, very interesting anomalous type of aircraft.
Traffic is quite luminous and is exhibiting some non-ballistic motion, over.
Move very rapidly at any speed or whether any direction it wanted to go, why it could change and go to the right or the left or go crossways without hesitating a bit.
What do you think it was?
Well, if they call it a flying saucer, that's what it is.
EWA 517, do you want to report a UFO? Over. Negative. We don't want to report.
Look, it wasn't my worst Wednesday night.
Good evening, everybody. This is Miles Lewis, and you are tuned into a live edition of Anomaly Now, straight out of Austin, Texas. And I'm your host, Miles Lewis. Thank you for joining us, or joining me. Glad to be here every Wednesday night, as often as we can, for a quick weekly news roundup on behalf of the 501c3 nonprofit Anomaly Archives Scientific Anomaly Institute, headquartered here in Austin, Texas. Founded in 2003 and celebrating our 20th year. Woo. It's weird. This week, I haven't had much opportunity to flip stuff over into the Flipboard. You can, of course, always go to our website, anomalyarchives.org, ANOMALY archives.org, and there you can sign up for our weekly or occasional email newsletter. You can find links to past shows, past events, past videos of lectures and workshops that we've given, plus, of course, our 40 to 50 hour streamathon from 2020, our emergency fundraiser, back when we were trying to raise funds. And we're always trying to raise funds, so tax-deductible donations, come on now. You can find links there to our Flipboard, which is where we post all of our links, which then get reposted into our email newsletter. But over at Flipboard, long URL, go to the anomalyarchives.org website to find information about that. There are all the links to the very many articles and videos that we post to that little online magazine. Very interesting stuff. I haven't posted that many things since our last show, interestingly enough. On the last show, of course, we alluded to this Baghdad Phantom UAP that has been leaked, so to speak, by Jeremy Corbell, the documentarian that works with George Knapp. Looks like a rocket or a missile to me and a lot of other people. Maybe there's something anomalous about it that we haven't been made privy to, other than people's in the military's claim to Jeremy Corbell. But we also talked about there's something odd about the dogs living at Chernobyl article. But since then, I've only posted about 6 articles. Time capsule, look at J. Allen Hynek, the NU professor whose UFO research inspired Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That links over to a local paper, I believe, dailynorthwestern.com. Haven't had the chance to read much of this stuff. A great new paper. I say great, haven't read it. View of experiences, business practices, and familial characteristics of secular American mediums. How's that for pretty specific? For those of you who've been following me and my interests all these many years, since at least 2000, you know that I've expressed an interest in, besides UFOs and parapsychology and all things anomalous and Fortean and paranormal, the idea of creating a dream recorder, some sort of technology like in the movie Brainstorm or Until the End of the World, where there's some kind of brain scanning technology that can record human perception, of course, very much a cyberpunkian William Gibson, Bruce Sterling-esque type of technology described in their fictional works of being able to possibly record not just their conscious experiences. By reading their brain scans, fascinating clear images that are shown to the subjects in this experiment are able to be interpreted by an AI and recreated much in the same way that you now can type in text or feed an image and get another image created by the artificial intelligence. So where is that going to go? Who knows? Meanwhile, over at Salubrious Events YouTube channel, there's video about a next generation study of ghostly episodes featuring Dr. Brian Haith. And also in the feed, something that we talked about, a scientific study recently about how all living things on this planet apparently may have this sense of magnetoreception, the ability to detect and perhaps understand and utilize electromagnetic fields. In this case, in the ways that birds and other animals seem to be able to navigate using this reception. Here is a video from Rupert Sheldrake that you can watch on YouTube. Despite decades of research, no one knows how birds navigate to destinations hundreds of miles away. Rupert suggests that there is a field-mediated sense of the magnetic field. At least that's what I believe the rest of that is. You can watch that over on YouTube by clicking through our Flipboard there. And another interesting headline, heartbeat may shape our perception of time, study shows. And from what little I've read of that, it seems to indicate that just the slightest of changes and variability of the heart rate of a person likely affect how we all perceive the passage of time. These are all things that I have not had the chance to read, but I looked forward to, and it's half the time I'm using the Flipboard as a way of bookmarking something for later reading. Also, some very interesting goings on here as lots of folks celebrate South by Southwest here in Austin, Texas. There are all kinds of shenanigans going on, including over at the Vulcan Gas Company on 6th Street. They've got some kind of parapolitical comedy. A fellow who some folks recognize as being a comedian / troll, I believe his name's Alex Stein, is hosting a Plead the First comedy podcast live at this Vulcan Gas Company on 6th Street in the coming days. That looks interesting in so much as the idea of playing with and trying to cultivate seemingly communication amongst people with disparate belief systems is, I think, a good thing. And I think comedy sometimes is a good way to explore sensitive topical areas. Obviously, not everybody agrees with me because recently when I was on a personal level posting about my excitement about a certain popular but controversial podcaster who has moved to Austin, having bought a local venue called The Ritz, one of the oldest movie theaters in Texas on 6th Street, and turned it into a comedy club called The Mothership, that some are describing as an anti-woke comedy club. Yeah, a lot of people took offense, of course, at the idea of something being anti-woke. Well, I'm not going to get into that tonight. In fact, tonight is just going to be a kind of a shooting from the hip, but very quick and salubrious. Is that the right word? Talk before we sign off at the 5:30 or thereabouts mark. 5:30, 7:30, whatever. It's 5:30 somewhere, right? Meanwhile, also coming up in Austin, Minds Fest featuring Destiny, Brian Callen, Peter Bogosian, Daryl Davis, Chris Williamson, and more. Oh, I think this must be at the same location, perhaps the Vulcan Gas Company. I did not even realize that when I saw that, but this, yet again, is an attempt at trying to get people with disparate ideas to talk. I I should say that this Alex Stein that's doing this Plead the First, when I was reminding myself of who that was, this person, I believe, has made quite a name for themselves recently, or a couple of years ago, when they appeared in Scrubs and did a rap about vaccinations at a Dallas City Council meeting. This reminded me of a recent event where another person named Alex here in Austin got up in front of Austin City Council dressed as a clown and tried to put themselves in the running for the replacement for the local energy grid operator. Because, of course, those of you who know anything or have heard about Texas and Austin's less than stellar dealing with the recent freezes this year, and then more recently, or rather a little later, back in 2021, the infamous February snowpocalypse. There's been a lot of problems with our energy grid. And this person dressed up as a clown, whose name is also Alex, and who I believe had also run for local office here in Austin. That was reminding me of this Alex Stein character. Anyway, meanwhile, in the UAP area, we've got over at the Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies website 3 interesting new articles posted in the last 6 days. This particular one is about the AIAA accepting 3 papers from the SCU. For those of you who've been tracking our show, you may have recalled us mentioning the AIAA, which is a long-running aviation safety organization that recently created a group focused on UAP, which is a real coup for the UFO community, in so much as here is a long-established aviation organization that's international in scope, taking on a group to deal with outreach related to UAP and UFO studies. So I think that's pretty cool. But well, where to for now? So I was going to mention something that we've carried. This is actually a carryover from back when I used to do the ELF Infested Spaces, ELF Infested Spaces, Journal of Possible Paradigms. This was a zine that I published back in the 1990s, and we're right around to about 2000 at elphis.net, now archived through the wonderful internet archive, archive.org. I used to have a section of the zine called Cargo Culture, where I would explore the various products and that people would give me. So many people over the years have given me, because of my interest in UFOs, kitty alien themed materials, toys, products, that sort of thing. And so I would often make reference to it in the Cargo Culture section of the Elphis Journal of Possible Paradigms zine. But we've continued that with our archiving work with the anomalyarchives.org, and over there at our website, anomalyarchives.org/collection/file/cargo-culture, you can find some of our past postings about these kinds of utilization of alien and UFO or paranormal or ghost imagery in various marketing or big events. And just scrolling down here, there's several Austin events that have featured over the last few years UFO type themes, like including the Moon Tower Comedy Festival, where they were using UFO imagery while at the same time utilizing the Moon Tower imagery. These towers that were one of the earliest forms of city utility lighting here in Austin. The myth being that those were installed to deal with the Servant Girl Annihilator serial killing, murder, mass attacks that were happening back in Austin's earliest history. But there's all kinds of stuff that you can find there, including, oh yes, this wonderful artwork from, I forget the artist's name, Bruce Pennington. And this is actually, I first saw this as a child when my mother made a pillow out of fabric that had this, and half of the fabric was this, but it was incorporated into, and I don't know if I have that here or not, but some imagery of was obviously a ripoff of Star Wars, not this imagery, but the imagery that this imagery was combined with. But this is a fascinating piece of artwork where you can see there's somebody going out of body. There's in several spirit bodies, light bodies going seemingly to or from these saucers that are sucking up people into the saucer. And in the clouds, there is a classic cloud cigar that is ejecting other UFOs, classic UFO mythology imagery there. But I bring all this up because I was going to play, if I can make it work, something that I was given by a good friend of mine recently. And at first I thought, oh, this is so silly and kitschy, but man, I love it. I'm not sure if this is going to work properly, but we'll see. So hold on tight, and here we go. Right. So that little thing is this interesting little, let's see if I can get this working here. This little neat little boxed item, pretty small, but my friend gave me this. It's UFO cow abduction. Comes with this little pamphlet here. It's a nice little printed pamphlet, confidential, that explains the whole story of the cow abduction chronicles. It's all basically a climate change oriented story about a planet where they need methane to survive. And so the UFO pilot, goes to the Earth and discovers that, wow, they have these things there. They have lots of them. They're these weird black and white critters, these cows, that give off methane. So they abduct the cows, not to mutilate them, thankfully, but they take them back to their planet to generate, methane. So I'm going to mute my mic for a second and then see if I can play this for you. But basically, you pop the top, and there's a little alien head inside. And when you press the alien head, that's when it activates. So hold on. Check it out. Wow. It's never done that before. With the mooing. That's crazy. I swear it's never done that before. I must have pressed the alien head differently. So usually it goes like this. Nope. No, usually it's just... Okay. Now I can't get it to do what it normally does. Well, anyway, so it's got this little, let me see if I can. So it's got this, sits on the pedestal there, but it's a magnetic cow and spaceship. but I swear, what is it? There we go. White. So anyway, yes, cargo culture. Yeah, it's silly. I've seen larger versions of this as lamps and that sort of thing, but I just thought that was cute and I wanted to share it with folks. Meanwhile, what else is going on? So yeah, earlier this afternoon, wasn't sure what we're going to talk about on the show, but I was emailed by a friend, or a friend texted me a Twitter link. Yes, I'm going to show you a Twitter link from David Haith. According to Jacques Vallee, hold on, here we go. According to Jacques Vallee, George W. Bush confirmed to Eric Davis that the 1971 landing of a UFO at Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico was, quote unquote, the real thing. This is revealed in Vallee's latest Forbidden Science Volume 5 memoir, reviewed here by Richard Dolan. So it says reviewed here. There is a link down below. And sure enough, basically, let's see if I can get this to work. Oh, of course it's not going to. Hold on. Got to share that first, and then I think the audio will work, hopefully.
Former president, the late President George Herbert Walker Bush. This, to me, is another just nice little bombshell that is dropped in this book, where Bush, in 2004, in his retirement, is talking to Dr. Eric Davis. Eric Davis has just joined in 2004 the AFIO, the Association of Former Intelligence Officers, a very significant organization, which at the time, apparently, the number 2 person in that organization, I'm sure it was honorary, was the former president. Of course, George Bush had been director of the CIA, if you remember, back in the 70s. So Bush is confirming it. Let's dig into it. Davis, upon joining the AFIO in 2004, had 2 phone conversations with former President Bush. Quite interesting, which Vallee writes about. So the first conversation, Davis mentions to the president his interest in the Philip Corso revelations. Can you imagine what a conversation this had to be? So Philip Corso, of course, in 97 had written a book called The Day After Roswell, where he is saying in the early 60s, working under General Arthur Trudeau, he was tasked with segueing alien technology to private industry. Okay, it was a huge, explosive revelation at the time. People argued back and forth about it and so on. But here's Davis talking to President Bush about it. I just think that's incredible. So Davis asked, he says, could it be that Corso was mistaken in dealing with the material he was handling? Could that have been Nazi hardware? Could that have been Nazi hardware? Yeah, a lot of people might wonder that, right? Always rumors about the Germans with their advance during World War II. Bush says, impossible. Impossible. The 2 topics were clearly separated. By that time, 1947, Bush said all German secrets had been processed and filed away. They were not used as or for anything else. Now, it has to be said, Bush was not saying that definitely Corso was handling alien material, but he also wasn't not saying that, at least as Davis related to Vallee. One would think if Bush thought the whole thing was BS, he would have said to Davis, like, come on, man, what's wrong with you? Get it together. You're talking about alien nonsense? Stop. He didn't do that. He just kiboshed the whole Nazi connection. He didn't have anything to say about the alien connection. I thought that was quite interesting. So here's where it gets even more interesting.
And you can watch the rest of that yourself. So this, of course, is apparently part of what's revealed in the many little bits here in the Forbidden Science, Volume 5, Pacific Heights issue of the Journal of Jacques Vallee. and we'll be digging into that very soon. So I can't wait to read more about that. All right. Well, I just don't have much else to talk about tonight. Like I said, it's been a crazy week, folks. And I have been working on something that's a personal hobby unrelated to the Anomaly Archives. And that is my long-running Anomaly radio station, Anomaly Radio Network. And that, hold on, let's see if I can get that. There we go. Yes, anomalyradio.com will take you to the Anomaly Radio website where you can click and link to the listen button, and streaming 24/7, 365 days a year since last century. I've been running this hobby radio station, anomalyradio.com, since 2000. It was originally called Radio Free Elphus, again, an extension of my Journal of Possible Paradigms back in the day. And it's been a long time since I did any updates to it. In fact, it's been 4 or 5 years since I changed out any of the shows. But I'm very excited to announce that I'm going to be launching some new shows on the network there. And again, totally not affiliated with the Anomaly Archives, but we're going to be having Personal Pans that's hosted by Vanessa Vayuco, and 6 Degrees of John Keel, hosted by Barbara Fisher and Morgana Marks, as well as past episodes of the now ceasing UFO Classified, now resurrected as Expanding Frontiers Research show done by Erica Lukes, with a variety of guests. Can't wait for this all to launch this Sunday, the day before spring, for our spring 2023 lineup of shows. And we'll actually probably start live streaming this Wednesday live Anomaly Now show on the network there, but you can find out more over there. Well, I know this isn't our usual fare for the Anomaly Now weekly news roundup, but hey, you get what you pay for. Donate money now to anomalyarchives.org. It's tax deductible. We are a 501c3, and we are trying to preserve UFO, Fortean, anomalous history, and to educate the public about those materials. We have over 7,000 books, thousands of periodicals, and hopefully soon they will be publicly accessible. We really hope that is the case, and thank you for your support. It means the world to us that folks are so supportive of our efforts, and we will be back next week. Thank you very much. Good night.